I'm out on the Columbia River today, and I started out early. You know, it's supposed to be a beautiful day today. It's kind of mid to late October. It's supposed to get up high at 20 today. It's a little overcast this morning. I decided to start early. I'm going to be joined by Deb Paskall a little bit later. She said she'd come out in the afternoon. So I'm going to hit some early runs and see what we can get. But, you know, it's really going to be about nymphing today. This time of year, the fish are moving. You have an opportunity for some really good nymphing. Of course, buggers are always good. And dry fly. Yeah, believe it or not, we got October caddis. And if we start seeing a few rise, I'm going to fire out some big Miglec sedges or big caddis and see if we can get them on that. So that's today. So we take you sport fishing on the fly.
Sport Fishing on the Fly is brought to you by Maui Jim Sunglasses, Humminbird Fish Finders, First Tellurium Corporation, and Hardy Rods and Reels.
What I'm going to do is I've got a beautiful run here. I'll show everybody the run. You know, I'm going to start at the head of the run. I'm going to start up in this area because I think later, after I pick up Deb, when it warms up, we'll work down in that area. I love to start down there, but I don't want to catch too many fish before I pick up Deb. It's starting to clear up already. It's going to be a really, like I said, a really warm day for October. So I'm going to try up here. I'm going to nymph all through this upper section to see if I can get something before I go and pick her up. Could be good. Could be, might not be, but we'll find out. I'm going to go straight up. Again, just try to get it so you're going straight up with a nymph. So I'm just casting straight up there, starting close to the boat. I'll just let it drift right close to the boat, and then I'll work different areas. So I'll start up this way, work all the way across, kind of diagonally, and just let it drift along. And again, I've got my nymph set up. There's my indicator. You can see there's my swivel and then my fly. So I'm about 1.5 feet longer than the depth of the water. So depth of water is about 4.5 feet. I'm hanging about 6. And all I do is I start straight upstream. So whether you're in a boat or you're on shore, you know, wading, I just can't wade here because it gets a little deep. But if you're wading through here, same kind of thing. Just keep casting straight up into the current and let that nymph float through. And a really good way is using these Euro nymphs that I got, and Euro nymphing actually. If you can wade in, you can wade right up to your, you know, essentially your neck if you want, and just dap in front of you with the Euro nymph. It's quite effective technique. Oh yeah, that's better. That's a nice one, Jay. And I just had it going and right up in the head, right in that fast water. Boy, that's a nice bow. Oh, beautiful bow. Oh, 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 yeah, oh, yeah, gorgeous bow, oh, beauty, oh, nice and fat, oh, man, oh, nice fish, beautiful fish. Okay, right up in the head, right where you'd expect them to get, right in that fast water. Right in the shallow riffle up in there. Get the net out. So that's a good sign. Looks like they're going to be coming on today. Beautiful. This is a nice one to start. Oh yeah, he's got it right in the top lip. There he is there. Oh, look at that. That is just a beauty fish. But how's that for a fish? Look at that. Look at how gorgeous that is. Just gonna let him go. There he goes. Oh, okay, we've got up to the kind of up at the head of the run here. I've moved out a little bit, actually shallower. The further I go out, the more shallow it is. But I've had the fish sit really up in the shallow water, like a foot or two of water when they're feeding, like really shallow. So we'll cover some water up here and see if they're sitting in here. You know, I always find that the big fish are always first to feed, and they love this. They love the heads right up in the top in that shallow water because they get the nymphs coming through first. Now I'm way up at the head. It's right up in this shallow stuff. Sun's starting to come out. I got that nice one right off the bat when the sun wasn't out. It's just starting to come out. I gotta pick up Deb here in the next hour. So I'm just gonna keep working this head end all the way across the river and see if I can't get another couple before I go and get her. Oh, I'm halfway down the run, still working it. I just want to show it, and I see how I'm mending my line. So when I'm going straight up, I'm just picking up my line and letting it drift through. A lot of times the fish will hit it on the swing, so when Deb comes out, I'll get her to actually use a sink tip and drift the nymph through. That's also very effective. But you can see when I cast up, especially when I'm doing a cross, I like give it a little mend upstream, and that keeps the fly just floating naturally. And as it goes along, just keep mending that line. Don't worry about giving the fly any motion, right? Your indicator is going to move a little bit, but again, I cast it up, give it a little motion, just a little rod tip flick there, mend the line over, and it just keeps a real nice drift going. And you can drift it right through. And this is really helpful, especially when you're casting straight out. When I cast straight out, again, long mend, that allows that fly to sink down. Your fly line's up above the indicator, pick up that line, and you get a real nice drag feed drift. And I got the little guy, he hit it. So again, I had the big guy up top, and this little guy was chasing it. You know, I made a nice long mend, and my indicator was just going 100 miles an hour. And usually that's indicative of a smaller fish. You know, they're aggressive, they'll chase it. But real nice bow. You know, it's such a great technique to use when you've got low water conditions in the fall. You know, the fish are hungry. Water temperature is 52 today. So ideally I like it around 50 to 48, then they're really hungry, but still pretty good. I'll get this guy in. It's always tough in this current. Just get his head up. Oh, there he is there. That's a nice little bow. Not huge. Oh, there's the flies out right in the top lip. There's a nice little bow. Pretty good size, you know, just a nice healthy guy, and there he goes. Nice. And there again is the fly. Just a nice October caddis imitation, you know, works great. Usually I got put on a tail, but this one didn't even need a tail, just heavy Euro jig to get you on the bottom. Okay, well, got down to the tail end, and I think I got a nice whitefish here. The other thing you get this time of year is not only nice rainbows, but you get big Rocky Mountain whitefish. And this looks like a nice one. Nice healthy whitefish. Oh yeah. Ah, decent. Look at the size of them. Look at that. Flies out. Look at how nice those whitefish are. They're big. Big Rocky Mountain whitefish. Look at how fat and gone. That's a big fish. Right off the bat.
Right off the back of the boat.
Oh, look at him go. Oh, look, it's too bad we're facing right into the sun.
Yeah, right in this one.
That was like your second cast over in this spot.
Yeah.
Just got us into like, yeah, like, you know, 7, 8 feet of water.
Yeah.
That's where they'll hold.
Pushing a sink tip, 10-foot tip on. About 2 feet tip it and bird stand.
That's the perfect combo for this time of year. So I've got a Euro Nymph. So 2 ways to work it. I've got a Euro Nymph and I'm fishing straight upstream, and you're hanging back here and just drifting like almost down across with the nymph.
Yeah.
And the fish, you know, this time of year, mid-October, just like a lake, right? They want to, oh, that's a nice fish, right? And just chrome. And they want to eat, right? They want to feed. They want to bulk up for winter. They're hungry. You know, the river is probably still, you know, pretty warm, still 54, but they get on the feed. Oh, that's a nice fish. And you know, when the water goes this low in the fall, you get big fish. And that's the beauty. The big guys, you got access to the big fish, right? Oh, look at that. Oh, look at how, what a gorgeous fish, eh? Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the net, and then I'm, look at that, what a scrap. Oh no, I went to get the net.
He busted me.
Oh, I just went to get the net. It put, oh,
I knew I should have
unbelievable.
retied that tippet.
Yeah, shut up. Oh, but that was, yeah,
That
that's
was a nice fish,
22.
eh? What a good start.
Oh, what a great start.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, put on the same flight.
Yeah.
We got more to come. They're all over the Prince
Grab
Nymph.
that Prince Nymph again.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't think it's
just
as big
lost
as the
one
last one.
casting
That's a nice
upstream.
fish.
So I think they're stacked in here.
I think so.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
It's in.
I might be able to get this one, Dawn. He's got a, not too big.
Not too bad. Looks
I don't
good.
think he's too big.
Oh yeah, looks nice.
Little
Oh yeah.
fish.
Nice little guy. Took it off the top.
Yeah.
See, he was probably out looking. We could probably cast a dry fly in there right now.
Oh, that'd be cool,
Get him
hey?
that way.
There we go.
there
One
we
in the
go.
boat, finally.
It's a nice little
Yeah.
guy.
Get that.
All right, let's let that little guy go. And there he goes. Good job.
Thanks.
2 already.
2 already. We haven't
Good.
been even out here
I
about
know.
10
and I
minutes.
haven't even got us in a good spot yet.
No.
Right on. Keep it rolling. Like,
Finally.
It's just shocking though how we've
Yeah.
worked this whole area, and only caught a few fish. Like you've got 2, I've had 2.
Yeah.
And I finally got this guy.
Feel like good fish?
Yeah, he's a nice fish, but sitting in, fish sitting in 3 feet of water.
I know.
And I thought we'd have a ton out here, but
Yeah.
just not a whole bunch. I mean, it's still good fishing, but not, you know, not steady.
Not spectacular.
Yeah. Well, I guess, you know, we're kind of spoiled though.
We are.
Oh,
Oh, that's a nice fish, Dawn.
you know what? That looks like a whitefish.
Is it a whitey?
It looks like a
Oh,
whitey.
it is a
Big
whitey.
whitey. Yeah.
Yeah, big one.
See, that's the cool thing about
That
this
is
time
cool.
of year too.
So
Up in here in
cool.
this faster water.
I've actually never seen a big whitey in
Yeah.
here yet. This is the first time. Oh, hang on. It's so big I can barely lift it.
Like that. That is a
Look at
big,
that. That's a big
that's
whitefish.
a big whitey. But that's the bonus. you
That
know,
is
this time of year. Look
awesome.
at the flies out already.
Look at
He's
that.
getting kind of beat
Yeah.
up. I'm gonna have to fix him up. But look at the size of that.
Look at that.
That is a big,
Amazing.
big Rocky
That's a
Mountain
big
whitefish, isn't it?
whitefish. Yeah.
And that's so cool because
That is so cool.
There he goes. They'll pull him off the bottom.
Right on.
And that's what I find a lot. I find that the whitefish will hold in this faster water. They like it up here in the faster water, and as you get deeper, like 5, 6 feet, that's where the bows are.
Yeah.
So, hey, at least we got one
Yes.
on there. So I gotta
Get
to
another one.
Okay. Oh,
Dawn's got a big rainbow one.
that's nice.
Nice.
Well, we couldn't find them, and we found a couple early in the deep water.
Yeah.
And then we went way up to the head end in the shallow water, got the big whitefish, and got this guy.
Yeah.
A nice rainbow. So, boy, oh boy, I guess they're still sitting in really shallow water. We're only in 3.5 feet.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
Ah, nice.
nice. Well, they like the October caddis nymph.
Yeah.
It's always a popular one. I like the real super heavy Euro nymphs. Like I like the real heavy weight. I put tons of weight on it, put a big bead on it. You know what? I think, well, you know, we'll go to the bench and I'll tie one up, or I'll put one in that we already tied.
Yeah.
Because they are a killer. Euro nymphs
Sounds
are just
good.
deadly this time of year.
Or you can give me your pattern and I'll tie it on the bench.
Hey, there you go. Exactly.
Then
we
I
can
can
do
get
that
your
too.
secret pattern off you, Dawn.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, sounks good.
Oh man, this
Oh,
yeah,
that's
not-
nice.
Not huge again, but just
No, but
nice.
so
Good
tough, right?
scrappy
Look
rainbow.
at that. Nice.
Okay, I'll get that next.
Beauty.
Yeah. There he is there.
Nice fish, Dawn.
Yeah, beautiful. Not huge, but just nice. That's the beauty of that fly. It's already out.
Yeah.
So there he is there. Look at how gorgeous those colors are.
Gorgeous.
Oh, beautiful fish.
There you go.
There he goes. Here's the fly.
Show me the fly.
Yeah. And there it is there. So different October caddis, right? It's got an orange body to it, darker hackle, big bead,
Yeah,
weighted
that is a
body,
big
right? I
bead.
want to be on the
Yeah.
bottom, and it's on a jig hook, of course.
Yeah.
You want it bouncing along the bottom.
Yeah.
That's what makes them so special. So let's go to the bench. We'll tie you up a Euro nymph. So today on the bench, I want to tie you up Dawn's Euro Jig Nymph. Now it's a nymph I've been using on the Columbia River most springs. And actually I did a video recently, probably a couple weeks ago. Everybody's probably seen it on YouTube when I was actually nymphing the Columbia River. And this is the jig I was using. Highly effective jig. I was given one a few years ago by Todd Oshie, a great competitive angler, and he gave me one of his and he said, you got to try this. He didn't name it. It was just one of his jigs. I had a couple. I've lost them. I think this is close. I've tried to replicate it. I remember it had, you know, an important ingredient, this pink color to it on the thorax. It was also had a hot spot on it. It had a, you know, some flash. It was kind of orangey in color. I'm trying to imitate it the best I can, but here's the Euro nymph that I use on the Columbia that's super effective. And when I talk about a Euro nymph, it's just a really heavily weighted fly. It's got the 5/32 bead on it, really heavy fly, gets you to the bottom in a hurry where the fish are feeding. And that's so important when you're fishing nymphs. So make sure you have the materials ready before you tie the fly, and we'll get on with Dawn's Euro Jig Nymph. So let's quickly go over the materials you're going to need to tie the fly. I'm actually using a 8/450 barbless jig hook. So it's a size 12. I really like the 450s in the haddock version. They're an excellent jig hook. As I mentioned before, I've got a 5/32 or a 3.8 millimeter gold bead. Quite aggressive. I mean, you want it weighted. We're actually going to weight it a little further with some 0.015 lead wire. You could go with the 0.2, even 0.25, but you'll see why I'm going to use the 0.015 when we start tying. I'm actually going to use, this is very important, the wax thread. So I've got the Semperfli, you know, the hot orange that I like to finish with. It's a 12/0 thread, and that's what we're going to actually use to tie with. For the tail, I'm actually going to use some hot orange ringneck pheasant rump. Really good for the tail. And I like to match the body color. I'm actually going to use this this orange stretch flex for the body, and I like to match similar with the tail. So if I'm tying in a green or a you know, a red stretch flex, I'll match that with the color of the tail. So this works really well for the tail side. As far as the rib, we're going to use the 0.2 millimeter brown. It's a real nice brown tying wire, the 0.2 millimeter. And we're going to use some medium silver tinsel for the back. Makes a real nice back on the fly. So let's get it going. So we've got the bead on the hook. Now what we're going to do is take some lead wire. I'm going to take 10 wraps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pull it off. And then I push it forward. So the bead, you can actually push it into the bead. So it sits directly in the bead real nice. And then I'll just get rid of this excess. I'll wrap it in a little bit and just have that lead fold over. And that'll just hold the bead in position. So once the lead's in there, I push it into the bead and it's kind of hidden, so it just gives it a little extra weight. Now we're going to go in with our thread right behind the lead, and just to hold it in place. It holds the bead in place and it holds the lead in place. And then we'll just wrap over our lead because we want a real nice base on this pattern. And it is they are chubby little patterns, right? They're nymphs. They come out looking really good, but you want them short and fairly fat. So now that we have the body tied in, I'm going to take some of my pheasant rump. Just going to pull some of the fibers down, and I only want, you know, I want about 4 or 5 long legs on this, or tail, sorry. So I'm going to take that, and I've got a few long, short, you know, I've got some short strands there and some long ones. So I've got about 4 or 5 left. Measure it up about the length of the body and go back. What I do is take 1 or 2 light wraps. So there's a couple light wraps, and then I could pull it and just adjust it to the length I want. And the tail, we don't want it too long because it is a short, you know, imitating a mayfly nymph or other nymphs. Go once behind and then wrap over. And then what I like to do is wrap up to where I put the lead in and that gives it a nice even body with a taper. So you can see a nice even taper on the body. Always the next stage is I always like to tie the wire in first. So I go in different order. So my body is going to go in last, so it's going to be tied in last. The rib's going to be wrapped over, or sorry, the rib will be tied over last, so I'm tying it in first. Then my back, as far as my tinsel, and then my body, because I'm going to tie it in first. So we'll just start the wire anywhere on the hook, just on the side here, and wrap it back. And copper works really good, but I found this brown with this color orange sets it off the best. It seems to be the best color. So wrap that in, bring it back up to the front. Now we're going to take our tinsel, and with the tinsel you'll notice there's a copper side and a silver side. So what we want is the copper side toward us. Start on the side of the hook. So place that tinsel on kind of on the side, and as you wrap your thread over, it's going to pull it to the top of the hook. And then as you pull it to the top, keep wrapping back, and now you'll have that tinsel right on the top of the hook when you bring it over. And of course these jig hooks flip upside down, but we do want to tie this essentially on the bottom or the top as we're tying it. Okay, now we've got that tied in, wrap that back. Now take some of our orange stretch flex. Really cool material to make segmented bodies. Just tie it in at the front, take a few wraps, and then pull it tight, because we want it fairly thin at the back. So you're going to pull that really tight and stretch it out. And then once it's tied in, just wrap your thread forward. And kind of form a tapered underbody. So there's a nice tapered underbody. And then I'm pulling the stretch flex quite hard as I wrap initially to keep it thin at the back. And then I'm loosening up as I go, as I'm wrapping forward. And you can see the segmentation of the body forms a nice segmented body. And as I get near the top, I'm just easing right off on pulling it. So as you wrap it in, give it a couple of tie overs, pull it tight, and snip off your excess. So now that we've got the body tied in, we're going to bring our flash over the top, over the back. And what we do is one quick loose wrap. We just want to get that positioned real nice at the top. And once you have it positioned right at the top, take another wrap over, one in front, another over, and then snip off your excess. So now we have a nice flashback on the fly. And now we're going to form the rib. Now, some people will reverse the rib order and go around. I like to secure my tail in, so I'll actually start right at the back. And I like to take about 5 ribs up there. There's 3, there's 4, and the 5th one right at the head. And I forgot to mention what I'm going to finish with the dubbing at the beginning on my materials, but that's okay. We'll show everybody now. So what I'm going to do is, again, just helicopter the wire until it pops off, and then you've got no loose edges. And the material I forgot to mention in the very beginning, one of the most important materials is our shrimp, this UV scud shrimp color. I love this for the thorax. It makes just a highlighted thorax. I also really like this light minnow, or it's kind of a minnow blue. It's really, really nice color. It's actually a green, but it's got a really nice color to it. But I love to finish with this shrimp color, so you have to have that. So now we're going to do, to finish the fly off, we've got a real nice body now, nice short little stubby guy. Take really small amounts of this pink dubbing. It's really, really shrimp color, just small amounts, because you want it quite thin, and I want to wrap it in good. And I don't want it, again, too bulky. So I'm just going to take a few wraps on there. You don't need a whole bunch. And once you have that nicely wrapped on your thread, and we don't have it, we got it, nicely positioned. Take a few wraps. And now what I like to do is I wrap over. You can see how I just wrapped it over, and I'm wrapping the thread through that just to hold it in place. And that's really going to position that material and hold it in place nicely. And then we'll cut out any of the real heavy parts after. Now we want to finish with a nice hot orange collar on the fly. So I'm going to take a couple of wraps there, and then we're going to do couple of sets of whip finishes, just to have it so it's got a real nice hot spot. So there's 1, 2, 3, finish like that, and then another few, 2, 3, 4 there. So now we've got a real nice hot spot. Now before I actually cut off my thread, there's different things you can use. I've got the super glue I like to use, and I'll actually wrap it with super glue and then wrap in and then wrap it back over and cut off my thread. Makes it really nice. Or you could take some of our UV coating. So what I'll do is I'll UV coat this thread. So it just helps when you UV coat the thread nice and thick there. Put a nice bit on there. Now you just wrap over. So I've UV coated the whole head without making a mess. Back off that thread, back to where you whip finished. So now that's all gone in. That UV coating has gone in there. So before you cut off your thread, hit that with your UV light, and now you've got a nice UV coating, or super glue coating on your head without making a mess of the head, without affecting the dubbing and really making a mess of that dubbing, which a lot of people do. You'll get it's pretty tough to get this in here and get it all nice without making a mess of your head. So that's a good trick to use. Just coat your thread, wrap it over, unwind it, and then hit it again. So now we're ready to cut it off. So we just snip that close, and there it is. There is our finished fly. Now you can see it's really cool. It's got the nice glitter back on it. It's got a real nice pink thorax head. These little bits here that are longer, you can cut them off if you want. I cut off a few, but as it gets eaten, as the fish eat that, this splays out more. All that dubbing kind of pushes and forms legs, so it's actually quite buggy in the water. You can see how the tail matches the body. You got a real nice underbody. This fly will sit like this, vertically. It bounces on the bottom. That flash sometimes really sparkles off the rocks, and it is a great attractor pattern. It's a great nymph. Probably the best nymphs I've ever used when I'm fishing rivers. So if you want to nymph a river effectively, and you want something that you want to go into a stream and catch a ton of fish, go in a river and get a ton of fish that are feeding on the bottom, you have to have these Euro nymphs.
Dawn's got a nice big rainbow on.
Another
That's
guy.
a better fish, Dawn.
Yeah, we hit that. I just got him through that little slot. This one's about the same as the last one. Yeah, just that kind of 16 to 18, real nice, healthy fish.
When it jumped the first time, I thought it was a lot bigger than that.
Yeah, and we got into that, we're in about 8 feet here. So we just sliding down that deeper water and get into them again. So I don't know. Maybe it was just running through. Maybe they're just starting to bite now.
Maybe.
Maybe.
That'd be good.
Well, the little Euro nymph is being good.
Yes, it has been.
Yeah.
I might have to steal one of those off you.
Oh yeah, I've got lots of those. Always have lots of those.
I've got the Prince nymph on, but I'm not having any luck now.
No, and it's really good water, like we're floating by here.
Yeah, it is.
And normally you can have anything drifting back there. Yeah. Oh, it's a fly out. Yep, I think so. Oh, shit. Yep, fly's out. There he is there.
Beauty.
Nice little chrome bullet. And there he goes.
And he's gone.
Gee, and that's enough. And now they're only hitting it on the dead drift.
Oh, really, hey?
Well, because every time...
I'm getting nothing on the
Every time that I undo the electric motor so that I'm drifting and floating with the current, it's down. So, and you're drifting, you're almost tailing it through.
Yeah.
And as soon as we got here, that's all they were taking.
Yeah.
And now they only want dead drifting.
Yeah, they only want the dead drift.
So what we might have to do...
I might have to switch over to my floating line.
I think so. Floating line, we'll put an indicator on.
Yeah.
The same fly you have.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh. He's gone.
Gone. Lost him. That's all right. But I think that's what we'll do, because we can work that run again.
Okay.
So
let's do that.
you get set up. I'll move us back up there and
Sounds
we'll try
good.
it again.
Okay.
Okay. So we came to our down spot here. It's called Satch's Run. It's in the lower section, and it's a beautiful run. We've got all the nice tail out here. Spans all the way up to the head end. You can see the head end riffle there. And we'll get them all the way from back here, all the way up into that upper pocket. And you can see the water is, we're probably in 4 feet right here. We'll just start nymphing. I'm gonna be using the the nymph upstream, and Deb's got hers going tailing out down below. And we got all different options here. You can throw on a big bugger if you want, strip it through down across. You can drift a nymph like I'm doing. You can drift the nymph on a sink tip like Deb's doing. You got lots of options. I think this is your favorite spot.
I think it is.
Only because you can swing. It's nice and slow.
Yeah.
It's perfect for a sink tip.
Real nice water.
And this is, so what you get in here is, since it's nice pocket water, you'll get smaller fish up in this pocket water. And then as we get down further, it gets a little shallower, like ridges. And that's where those big boys hold, right on the ridges. It looks good.
Yeah, you just grabbed
like
that.
a nice one.
It is, feels like
He
a nice
looks
one.
pretty good.
I don't want to put too much pressure on him on this
I know.
reel.
It's fighting good.
I can't crank the drag down on this reel.
Oh no.
No, need a new reel for sure. Oh, that's a nice fish.
Oh yeah, look at
I don't know if I'm going to get him in, but
Oh,
we'll
you'll
see.
get him in.
We'll see.
Not like me. Disaster
You've
today.
dropped a few today.
I know. That's all good. Just the fun part of watching your bobber go down.
It is, right?
Whoa, look at that. He's
Oh, he
fighting
keeps
good.
taking
not
off
very
on me
big, but
too.
he's
No,
just
no,
a
he's fighting good.
scrappy
And he's
fish.
chrome. Really chrome.
Yeah, this time of year, that's what you get. These chrome bullets.
Oh, he's not ready yet.
Good, scrappy fish. Oh yeah, look at that. Gorgeous.
No, he's not ready.
Gonna be
More?
pretty quick.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
now he's ready.
There he is.
Yeah, nice. Glad the reel didn't fail there.
Yeah. Nice little bullet.
Purple prints right in the
Oh,
lip.
the purple prince, always a winner in here. One
Yeah.
of my faves.
Dawn's purple prints right in the top lip.
Yeah.
There we go.
Probably one
Flies
of my
out.
best patterns. There he is there. Nice little
There's the fly
chrome.
there.
Here's the, let this guy go first. There he goes.
Nice.
And the purple prince.
Comes
Okay?
through again.
The purple prince is always
You
a
can't
winner
beat
out
it.
here. I
You
know.
can't
It's
beat
one
it.
of one of the best patterns we've ever used.
Yeah.
Way to go, okay. We
Right
just
on.
got here.
We did.
First cast, you're into him.
Yeah.
Right on. Keep it going. A decent day on the water, but not one of our better ones.
No, not what we expected.
Not at all. You know, we did pretty good. We went up to the first run. It was good. We found some fish. You bagged a couple of nice ones right off
Yeah.
the bat. I had a few. Moved down the next run. You got one right away, and now
And now nothing. Yeah, that was it.
But look at it's October 20th today.
It's absolutely
And
gorgeous.
I know it
out.
should be in a t-shirt. This guy, it's about 21 degrees out
So
today.
it's gotta be,
I know, it's
yeah.
got to be the weather. So
gotta be weather.
it's just the way it is. You know, again, Columbia River, other rivers, great thing to use those Euro nymphs that we showed you on the bench. Different variety of flies, you know, can't beat a Prince nymph, big buggers for the big fish. You know, you got to try it all and have the different setups. You need the dry lines, you need the sink
Sink
tips,
tips,
right?
yeah.
And you guys should have a Type 7 full sink.
Yeah.
Really get you down there, down and dirty, as they call it. But thanks for coming out today.
Thanks, Dawn.
It
Thanks
was
for
the
having
most
me.
excellent day.
Yes, it was. Great
Nice
day on the
little
river.
mini. So
Yeah.
when you're out here, take care, conserve waters, and we'll see you next time we take you sport fishing on the fly.